The Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene is one of the most powerful and honest books ever written about why people act the way they do. This book shows us what really drives our choices, the hidden forces in every conversation, and how to see the patterns behind people's actions. In this video, we will break down Greene's important work. We will look at the hidden habits and unconscious instincts that control the people around you and even your own behavior, whether you see them or not. By the end, you will not only understand human nature better, you will be able to read people more clearly, predict their actions, and protect yourself from being controlled. So let us start. Part 1. Mastering Yourself. Law 1. The Law of Irrationality. Think about the last time you had a strong argument with someone you care about. Your heart beats fast, your face gets hot, and suddenly words come out that you wish you could take back. Hours later, when you are calm, you ask yourself, why did I say that? That is not what I really think. Like you, I used to think I was a logical person, making smart choices after careful thought. But the truth is, most of the time, our emotions are in control, and our logic just tries to explain things after. Your brain did not grow in clean, logical steps. It is a survival system built over millions of years. At the center is the reptilian brain, your oldest part, focused only on keeping you alive. This is the part that moves your body away from danger fast. No thinking needed, just instinct. Above that is the limbic system, your emotional brain. This is where feelings start and where memories get their emotional color. That warm feeling when you think of your grandmother's cooking, that is your limbic system giving meaning to that moment. Finally, there is the neocortex, your thinking brain. This lets you plan for the future, solve hard problems, and understand this video right now. It is strong, but it is also slow. Think about the last time you picked a new phone, new shoes, or even a coffee brand. You probably thought you compared the options carefully, but research shows your emotional brain reacts in milliseconds, while your thinking brain takes seconds. By the time your neocortex starts to analyze, your emotions have already decided. Marketers know this very well. They do not sell products, they sell identity, belonging, and status. That is why sneaker ads do not list materials. They show athletes in action. They know we are emotional people, wearing a thin mask of logic. So how do you stay in control? The first step to being more rational is knowing when you are not. Next time you feel a strong feeling rising, name the emotion. Is it fear, anger, or desire? Just naming it makes it weaker. Once you name the emotion, find where it comes from. Ask yourself, why am I really feeling this? Often, the trigger is not what you think. That anger at your coworker might really be stress about something else. When you feel emotion growing, create a pause. The space between what happens and how you react is where your freedom is. Take a deep breath. Count to 10. This gives your thinking brain time to catch up to your emotional reaction. Law 2. The Law of Narcissism. Imagine this. You are at dinner with friends, excited to share good news. As you are talking, building up to the main point, one friend interrupts. Suddenly, the talk shifts. The focus moves to them. Your excitement fades, replaced by annoyance. You nod, but inside you think, did they even hear me? That feeling is a sign. Whether we admit it or not, we all have narcissistic tendencies. The question is not if you are a narcissist, but where you are on the scale. Picture a line. On one end is the deep narcissist, someone focused only on themselves, like Jordan Belfort from The Wolf of Wall Street. They need constant praise, and under their confident look is a fragile ego, easily hurt. When they feel ignored, anger or frustration comes out fast. Think of a friend who turns every talk to themselves, or a partner who rarely thinks about your needs. To them, life is a one-person show, and you are just a background actor. On the other end is the healthy narcissist, someone who values themselves without hurting others. Think of someone like Oprah. They are confident to chase their goals, but they also know how to listen, understand, and connect. Before you judge where you or others stand, know that none of us stay at one end forever. We move on this scale, based on our feelings, our sense of safety, and what is happening around us. Now, instead of listing all the narcissists in your life, try this. In your next 3 talks, notice how many times you bring the topic back to yourself. See if you check your phone while someone else talks. Notice if you plan your reply before they finish. Feel if you get impatient when attention moves away from you. You will be surprised by what this simple check shows. But here is the good news. You can manage your narcissistic tendencies. It starts with awareness. First, practice curiosity instead of judgment. Every person you meet has a hidden world of experiences, fears, and hopes you cannot see. Second, build your empathic imagination. Research shows reading fiction increases empathy, because when you step into a character's shoes, you practice the same skills needed for real connection. Third, make a digital detox habit. Social media is built to increase narcissistic behavior. It rewards self-promotion and turns connection into a numbers game. The most surprising truth about narcissism is this. The more truly interested you are in others, the more attractive you become. Law 3. The law of role-playing. One day, I remember walking into an important job interview. As I entered the room, I fixed my posture, lowered my voice, and tried to look confident, even though I was nervous inside. Later that same night, at a bar with friends, I was a totally different person. Louder, more relaxed, almost like I was someone else. As the philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer once said, people are like the moon. They only show you one side. We all wear masks, changing between them so smoothly we barely notice. But do not forget, every talk you have is a performance on a hidden stage. Think about it. The polished LinkedIn profile that leaves out career failures. The Instagram feed showing vacation highlights, but never the fights that happened before the photo. The resume that turns a messy career into a smooth success story. These are not always lies. They are selective presentations. We do this for 4 reasons. First, protection. Masks hide weakness in competitive places. Second, adaptation. Different places need different versions of you. Third, conformity. Copying others helps us connect and avoid being left out. Finally, power. By controlling what people see, you shape how they react. But if everyone is performing, how do you see the truth? Start by watching for mismatch. These are moments when words and body language do not agree. They say they are fine, but their posture or tone says no. Then learn their normal behavior. How do they usually act? If someone is usually talkative but goes quiet on a topic, that is your clue. Also, watch for context changes. Notice how someone's behavior changes in different places. Like the friend who is real one-on-one but acts in front of a crowd. Understanding that all interaction involves performance does not mean being fake. It means being intentional. Know your audience. Adapt to different settings without losing your true self. Match your tone, body language, and words. Studies show only 7% of emotional meaning comes from words. The rest comes from how you say it and your body. If these do not match, people feel something is wrong, even if they cannot say why. Use strategic vulnerability. A little openness builds connection. The best performers are not perfect. They are selectively open. Share something real, but not everything. It builds trust and respect. And above all, stay true to your core values. The best performances come from showing real parts of yourself, not making a new person. The person who understands that everyone is performing gains an advantage in every room they enter. Law 4. The law of compulsive behavior. Imagine you are at a casino, watching a man at the roulette table. He has lost 7 times in a row, but says the next spin will be different. His wife and her friend have tried to pull him away, but 4 hours and his whole paycheck later, he is still there, stuck in a cycle he cannot escape. We all have patterns like this, unconscious scripts that repeat in our lives, even when they hurt us. The hard truth is that who you are has largely been shaped in childhood. Think of your character as a program installed in your early years. By your teens, your core tendencies were mostly set. The ambitious executive who cannot enjoy success. Look closely, and you will often find a childhood where love depended on achievement. The woman who repeatedly picks partners who treat her badly. Often she is unconsciously repeating the emotional patterns of her first relationships. These are not just habits. They are compulsions, deep patterns that feel as natural as breathing. And while we love stories about big change, our core character stays mostly the same throughout life. To understand someone, ignore their words and watch for these revealing patterns. How they handle small problems. Someone who explodes at a small mistake is not just having a bad day. They are showing you their normal response to frustration. What they do with power. Give someone authority, and their true character shows quickly. Their behavior when they think no one is watching. This shows far more than their public face. In a world where most people are blind to their own patterns, the person who sees these hidden scripts in themselves and others changes every interaction from unconscious reaction to smart choice. Law 5. The Law of Covetousness. I was scrolling through social media the other day when I saw that my cousin got a brand new car, sleek and expensive. A moment before, I was happy with my old car. But suddenly, I felt a small sting of envy. Like, why do not I have that? Then later at work, I heard that someone from another team got promoted. I had never even wanted that job, but the second I heard the news, this thought came to me. Why was not it me? This is not coincidence. It is human nature. We are built to want what we cannot easily have. A famous experiment showed this clearly. Researchers put identical cookies in 2 jars, one almost full, one with just 2 cookies left. When asked which cookies they preferred, most people chose from the nearly empty jar. Sure, those cookies must be better just because there were fewer. Throughout history, 3 things have always increased human desire. The forbidden. Whatever is denied to us becomes more attractive right away. This explains why teenagers break parents' rules and why exclusive clubs with strict entry never lack applicants. The mysterious. We are pattern-finding machines, and mystery creates a mental itch we need to scratch. This is why you stay up watching one more episode of a show with a cliffhanger, and why people who share less seem more interesting. The validated. When others value something, we assume it must be valuable. A restaurant with a line outside must be better than the empty one next door, even if we know nothing about either place's food. This social proof shapes our desires more powerfully than we realize. Next time you feel that surge of wanting something simply because others value it, pause and ask, would I want this if no one else did? This single question can free you from the exhausting cycle of constant dissatisfaction. Law 6. The Law of Short-Sightedness. Imagine 2 chess players. One is a beginner, impulsive and reactive. He sees a move, makes it, and hopes for the best. Within a few turns, he is trapped. Checkmate. Game over. The other player is a master. He sees the entire board, thinking 10 moves ahead, and controls the flow of the game. Most people live life like the first player, reacting to whatever is in front of them, chasing quick wins and never considering the long-term consequences. But life, like chess, rewards those who see beyond the next move. Why do we fall into this trap? Because we are wired for short-term thinking. Our brains evolved to seek immediate rewards, food, pleasure, safety, without much concern for the future. But in modern life, that instinct can wreck us. Greene identifies 4 traps that keep us locked in short-sighted thinking. The trap of unintended consequences. We think actions lead to simple, predictable outcomes, but life is messy. Meet Sarah. She starts a crash diet to fit into her wedding dress. She loses 15 pounds, but injures her knee. No more workouts, weight rebounds, plus 10 extra. The trap of tactical hell. This is where you win battles, but lose wars. Consider Julie, who won every argument with her boss, feeling triumphant until promotion season came. Her quieter colleagues advanced, while her victories cost her long-term success. The trap of ticker tape fever. Reacting to everything means thinking about nothing. Like Michael, who saw a news alert about a stock surging and immediately invested his savings without research. 2 weeks later, the stock crashed. Reacting impulsively to news cost him big. The trap of drowning in details. When we obsess over minor elements, it can paralyze our progress. Think of Lisa, a perfectionist who spent weeks choosing the perfect font and colors for her new business website, while her competitors were already launching products. Her focus on trivial details cost her critical early momentum. So how do we break free from short-sightedness? Greene offers 3 powerful strategies. First, practice strategic detachment. Before making a decision, ask yourself, will this matter in 5 years? That one question pulls you out of impulse mode and into long-term thinking. Second, connect daily actions to big goals. Before acting, ask, does this move me closer or further from my long-term vision? Make your decisions serve the future, not just the moment. Third, surround yourself with long-term thinkers. We become like those we spend time with. If you are around people who chase instant gratification, you will too. Find mentors who play the long game. The ability to delay gratification is perhaps the single greatest predictor of success in life. While others are busy making impulsive moves, you will be thinking 10 steps ahead, setting up the real checkmate. Law 7, the law of defensiveness. Think about the last time someone criticized you. What was your immediate reaction? You probably felt that familiar tightening in your chest, the surge of justifications rising to your lips, maybe even anger at the person offering feedback. This reaction is natural. It is hardwired into your psychology. Your brain processes criticism as a threat, triggering the same fight or flight response as a physical attack. According to Greene, our defensiveness stems from 3 core beliefs that form our identity. First, I am autonomous. We desperately want to believe we are in control of our lives and decisions. That is why people resist the idea that they have been influenced, even when it is obvious. Second, I am intelligent. No one wants to feel foolish. Admitting we were wrong, whether about a scam, a manipulative person, or a bad decision, hurts our ego. We need to believe our decisions are smart and our judgment is sound. Third, I am good and decent. We see ourselves as moral. If someone challenges that, we instinctively reject it, even creating elaborate justifications for our actions. Here is the painful truth. Every time you become defensive, you forfeit an opportunity to grow. The most valuable feedback often comes wrapped in the packaging we most want to reject. But defensiveness is not just a personal challenge. It is also the biggest obstacle in persuading others. Greene offers 5 strategies to work around it and persuade people. Become a deep listener. Most people just wait for their turn to talk. Instead, focus on truly understanding the other person. Ask questions. Resist the urge to insert your own experience or opinion until you have fully explored theirs. Create emotional contagion. Emotions are contagious. If you are anxious or aggressive, people mirror that energy. If you stay calm and confident, they soften. Validate their self-image. Instead of attacking people's core beliefs, reinforce them. If someone values their independence, emphasize the choices available to them, rather than pushing your agenda. Address hidden insecurities. Beneath defensiveness lies fear. Fear of looking weak, irrelevant, or foolish. If you can subtly reassure someone without exposing their insecurity, they will be more open to new ideas. Use resistance as a pathway. If someone is stubbornly resisting, do not push harder. Pull back. Say, this might not be for you. Their natural contrarian instinct might lead them to embrace what they were rejecting. Law 8. The law of self-sabotage. Meet Michael. At 28, he has been offered the promotion he has dreamed of for years. But instead of celebrating, he lies awake thinking, what if I am not good enough? What if everyone realizes I am a fraud? 3 days before starting, he sends a late-night email declining the offer. Sound familiar? We like to blame outside forces for our failures, bad luck, difficult people, unfair circumstances. But often the real saboteur is us. Your attitude is not just a passive reaction to life. It actively shapes your reality. Like a filter on a camera lens, it affects what you focus on, how you act, and what results you get. Greene identifies 2 core mindsets that determine whether we grow or self-destruct. The negative mindset. This one is rooted in fear. People stuck here see limitations everywhere, reasons why things will not work, why they should not try, why change is dangerous, and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Imagine walking into a party, convinced no one will like you. You show up, guarded, quiet, maybe even defensive. People pick up on that and naturally keep their distance, which only confirms your belief. I do not belong. The positive mindset. This one runs on possibility. People here see opportunities where others see obstacles, learning experiences where others see failures, and connections where others see threats. Now, picture that same party with this mindset. You walk in exuding confidence and openness, naturally attracting others. Same event, different mindset, totally different outcome. Greene identifies 5 negative attitudes that lead to self-sabotage. As I describe each one, ask yourself which of these might be holding you back. The hostile attitude. Here the world feels threatening, so you stay defensive and reject help. The anxious attitude. You fear uncertainty and mistakes. The avoidant attitude. Driven by a fear of not being good enough, you procrastinate. The depressive attitude. A quiet voice says you do not deserve happiness or success. The resentful attitude. You fixate on what others have instead of what you can build. But the good news here is that your attitudes are not fixed. They are just habits of mind. And habits can change. Sometimes it takes a crisis, a breakup, or a failure to break the cycle. But you do not need to wait for disaster. The key is small, consistent shifts in action. Because when your actions change, your results change. And when your results change, so does your belief in what is possible. Law 9. The law of repression. We all wear masks. The polite co-worker hiding resentment. The tough guy who crumbles when he is alone. The moral preacher with a secret vice. Indeed, beneath those masks lives what Carl Jung called the shadow. The parts of ourselves we deem too dangerous, shameful, or vulnerable to show the world. But the more we repress our shadows, the more it controls us. Greene outlines 6 signs that your shadow might be in control. The contradictory behavior. The politician preaching family values while cheating on his spouse. The wellness guru secretly chain-smoking. When actions do not match beliefs, the shadow is in charge. The emotional outbursts. Ever seen someone explode over something small? A boss firing an employee for a minor mistake? A friend cutting you off over a small disagreement? That is not about this moment. It is years of repression boiling over. The passionate denial. People who aggressively condemn something often battle those very urges in themselves. Think of the anti-corruption politician hiding offshore accounts, or the moral preacher concealing secret affairs. The over-idealization. History is full of heroes who once in power became the very thing they fought against. Their shadow just waited patiently, then took the wheel. The accidental behavior. Under extreme stress or a few drinks, the mask slips, and suddenly the real self shows up. Sometimes with shocking results. The mirror of projection. When someone constantly accuses others of manipulation, selfishness, or dishonesty, often it is an unacknowledged reflection of their own traits. Identifying your shadow is fundamental because denying your shadow will only drain you. It will find unhealthy channels such as addiction, destructive relationships, or unexplained illness to express itself. But when you face it, you become stronger, more self-aware, and more compassionate toward yourself and toward others. Here is how. See it. Notice when you feel defensive, triggered, or judgmental. That is your shadow speaking. Embrace it. Do not fight it with shame. Own it. Explore it. Ask, what does this part of me actually need? Often, its needs are legitimate, just expressed in unhealthy ways. Channel it. Let it work for you, not against you. Use its strength to set boundaries and assert yourself. Manage it. Learn when to let your shadow step forward. Sometimes your shadow's instincts are exactly what a situation requires. Whether it is using anger to defend your boundaries or assertiveness to fight for what is right. Part 2. Navigating social landscapes. Law 10. The law of envy. Have you ever felt a twinge of resentment when a coworker got praised for something you worked just as hard on? Or when a friend shared amazing news and instead of feeling happy, you felt irritated? Maybe you told yourself, I am not jealous. I just do not like how they act now. But was it really about them or about you? What makes envy particularly dangerous is how easily we deny it. We disguise it as criticism or concern. And the deeper it is buried, the more destructive it becomes. Envy has two expressions, each with its distinct danger. Passive envy, the silent avatar. It works through subtle, undermining, cold withdrawal, and quiet obstruction. Maybe you are thinking of a colleague who forgets to include you in important emails, or the friend who changes the subject when your achievements come up. Active envy, the open attacker. This is direct criticism, gossip, or sabotage. The person who publicly questions your qualifications or spreads rumors about how you really achieved your success. Certain situations are more likely to trigger active envy, even in people who may not be naturally envious. Rapid success. Nothing provokes envy like quick achievement. The young prodigy, the newcomer who surpasses veterans. These people become instant targets because they challenge others' excuses for mediocrity. Public recognition. The more visible your success, the more it breeds silent resentment. Proximity. Strangers envy from a distance, but friends, siblings, and colleagues take it personally. Scarcity of opportunity. If only one person can win, one promotion, one award, your gain feels like their loss. The most uncomfortable truth about envy, we all feel it. The solution? Transform it. Master your craft. A skilled carpenter does not envy a master painter. Focus on your path and envy fades. Abandon comparison. The only real competition is with your past self. Embrace your uniqueness. Your strengths are not meant to match others. Lean into what sets you apart. Develop emotional intelligence. When envy arises, notice it, name it, and let it go. Build resilience through challenge. As self-worth comes from overcoming struggles, you will not be shaken by others' successes. That is something I try to remind myself every time I catch that old voice whispering, "Why not me?" Law 11. The law of grandiosity. You likely know a colleague who changed, and not for the better. Once a beloved team member, always ready with a kind word and eager to collaborate. Everyone rooted for him. When he landed a big promotion, the cheers were genuine. But things shifted subtly at first. A slight change in tone, a hint of arrogance. Compliments fueled his ego, and feedback fell on deaf ears. He believed he was destined for greatness, exempt from limitations. Colleagues who once admired him now found him unbearable. This shift is due to grandiosity, the belief that one is above others, destined for greatness. It feels empowering, but if left unchecked, it leads to disaster. To know when healthy confidence has morphed into dangerous grandiosity, identify one of these 5 critical warning signals. The chosen one syndrome. You believe your success comes from pure talent, not effort, timing, or collaboration. You ignore the role of luck and others' contributions. The fortress of flattery. You surround yourself with people who validate your greatness, rejecting criticism or uncomfortable truths. The destiny delusion. Every small success feels like proof that you are meant for legendary status, making you blind to reality. The spotlight addiction. You crave attention more than actual achievement, making increasingly bold moves just to stay relevant. The invincibility illusion. You take reckless risks, believing the rules do not apply to you. This works until it does not. But we all have grandiose impulses. The key is not to suppress them. It is to channel them productively. Robert Greene calls this practical grandiosity. Ambition with awareness. Here is how to practice it. Embrace your ambition. Do not deny your desire for recognition. Face it so it does not control you. Stay grounded. Balance big dreams with reality checks. Keep people around who challenge you, not just praise you. Focus your fire. Instead of chasing every dream, commit to one big, achievable goal at a time. Stretch, do not snap. Set challenges that push you without breaking you. Create controlled burn zones. Occasionally take bold risks, but do it with limits in place. In essence, grandiosity can either fuel your growth or lead to your downfall. The choice is yours. Law 12. The law of gender rigidity. From the moment we are born, society tells us how men and women should behave. Boys are taught to be tough. Girls are taught to be nurturing. These messages do not just shape our behavior. They shape our identity, and in the process, we lose access to half of who we really are. Traditionally, masculine traits include assertiveness, ambition, independence, while feminine traits include empathy, intuition, patience, and we all have both. But as Carl Jung discovered, what we repress does not vanish. It shows up in our projections. We chase in others what we have buried in ourselves. Greene outlines 6 ways this plays out in relationships. The devilish romantic, idealizing a partner who seems to offer everything we lack. The elusive woman of perfection, falling for someone based on fantasy, not reality. The lovable rebel, attracted to rule breakers because we secretly crave freedom. The fallen woman seeking the opposite of our upbringing in a partner, often as a form of rebellion. The superior man, drawn to power and confidence to cover up our own self-doubt. The woman to worship him, wanting admiration, not just for the ego boost, but for a deeper sense of self-worth. The path to wholeness begins with a simple truth. Everything you chase is already within you. Greene suggests practical steps to reclaim your full humanity. Step 1. Recognize your repressions. Ask yourself, what qualities attract and irritate me in others? The answers reveal the traits you have denied in yourself. If you are irritated by someone's boldness, but also drawn to it, you might be hiding your own desire to be assertive. Step 2. Practice integration. If you are afraid of being too emotional, try expressing your feelings. If you are too passive, start setting boundaries. Growth begins with discomfort. Step 3. Aim for balance, not extremes. The goal is not to abandon your strengths, but to complement them. A logical person does not need to reject reason. They need to add empathy. A nurturing person does not need to stop caring. They need to add assertiveness. True power comes from flexibility. The ability to access the full range of human qualities as situations demand. The more flexible you are, the more whole you become. Law 13. The law of aimlessness. Take Alex, a brilliant college graduate who spent his 20s chasing status, high-paying jobs he hated, startup ideas he dropped. By 35, he felt lost, moving between therapists and self-help books. Meanwhile, his classmate Maya focused on solving a specific problem in renewable energy. Despite setbacks, her purpose gave her strength. By 35, she had built not just a successful company, but a meaningful life. The difference was not intelligence. It was purpose. The 13th law is perhaps the most silent killer of potential. A life without direction. But here is where the trap appears. We chase meaning in the wrong places. Pleasure. Studies show lottery winners return to normal happiness within months, while those who chase pleasure often end up depressed and anxious. Causes in cults. Some chase movements not out of belief, but to fill a void. They hop from one ideology to the next, high on belonging until it fades. Money and success. History is full of people who hit their financial goals only to ask, is this all there is? From wealthy executives who die of heart attacks at their desks, to billionaires who cannot keep relationships, money makes a terrible purpose. Attention and fame. Social media has made fame easy and empty. It offers validation, but not purpose. Studies of influencers show high rates of depression and identity crisis, because external validation is a hunger that only grows the more you feed it. Cynicism. Saying nothing matters is just another mask for aimlessness. So where do we find the real thing? Robert Greene offers 5 strategies to help you find what the Japanese call ikigai, a reason for being. Look back at your life. Discover your calling through the past. When did time seem to disappear? These moments were clues to your purpose. Turn criticism into motivation. When J.K. Rowling pitched Harry Potter, she faced 12 rejections. When Elon Musk announced electric cars, industry experts mocked him. Every great achievement faces resistance. Expect it. Embrace it. Build your purpose circle. Jim Rohn famously said, "You become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." So surround yourself with people who build, not drift. Create your purpose ladder. Break your goals down yearly, monthly, weekly, and daily. When Michelangelo sculpted David, he did not achieve it in a day. He approached the marble with both a grand vision and the discipline to chip away one small piece at a time. Finally, master the flow state. Purpose comes alive in what psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi called flow. That state where challenge meets skill and time vanishes. It is where fulfillment lives. In the end, purpose is not just about the destination. It is about falling in love with the process. Law 14. The law of conformity. When I started dating my partner, I found myself in a dilemma. She and all our friends loved baseball, but I did not. Not wanting to be the odd one out, I pretended to enjoy the games. Months passed, and it got harder and harder to hide. Until one day, my partner noticed how disengaged I was and asked me what was wrong. We like to think we are independent, but the truth is, groups shape us more than we realize. We all have 2 distinct sides to our personality. First, there is our individual character, the core of who we are, shaped by our values, memories, and personal experiences. But there is another side that emerges whenever we enter groups, our social personality. This is not a mask we consciously put on. It is an unconscious change that happens automatically to fit in with groups. We all shift between these, but the danger comes when the social self takes over completely. It happens in subtle ways. You start copying opinions just to fit in. You go along with things you would normally question because everyone else is doing it. And if you do not recognize it, you become a puppet of the group. Robert Greene identifies 4 key ways your social personality gets hijacked. the desire to fit in. You copy others' beliefs, even when they contradict your own. The performer's trap. You craft your actions, and even your social media posts, based on how you want to be seen. The emotional contagion. Emotions spread through groups like viruses. This explains how ordinary people participated in history's darkest moments or heroic revolutions. The certainty illusion. In groups, doubts disappear and certainty takes over. When surrounded by people who seem sure of something, you stop questioning. This is why investment bubbles form, or cults attract intelligent people. So how do you stay strong within a group instead of being controlled by it? Have a clear purpose. Without it, groups spiral into gossip, power struggles, and pettiness. But a group with a strong purpose keeps you above the noise. Curate your inner circle. You become who you are around. Choose people who balance your weaknesses but share your values. Master emotional contagion. As a leader, your emotions spread the fastest. If you stay calm in chaos, others will too. Create psychological safety. The best groups encourage debate, not blind agreement, because disagreement sharpens truth. Test loyalty under pressure. True character emerges under pressure. Create controlled challenges that reveal who stands with you and who crumbles. Most people drift through life shaped by whatever group they fall into. But the few who understand how groups work, they shape the group, and through it, they shape the world. Law 15. The law of fickleness. Have you ever had a close friendship, someone you have been through thick and thin with? Then one day, they hear a rumor about you, and without asking, they turn their back on you. You reach out to explain, but they have already made up their mind. We like to believe we form stable opinions, but the truth is our emotions and perceptions are constantly shifting. There are two main forces behind this. First, internal triggers. We do not react to reality, we react to our emotions. An investor, excited about your project yesterday, suddenly pulls back after recalling a past failure. A romantic partner who swore loyalty questions everything after a minor disagreement. Second, we are simultaneously bombarded by external pressures. People crave novelty. What excites them today bores them tomorrow. And with social media constantly amplifying extreme emotions, the cycle only speeds up. Together, these internal and external factors create a perfect storm of instability. So, how do you lead when people's opinions are this unpredictable? Robert Greene lays out 8 key strategies. Create emotional anchors. People stick with leaders who connect to something deeper than trends, values, identity, and meaning. Lead with consistency, not flashiness. Flashy leaders enjoy short bursts of attention. Consistent leaders build long-term trust. Master group psychology. Crowds amplify emotions. If you do not control them, they will control you. Stay unpredictable. Predictability makes you easy to ignore. A touch of surprise makes you magnetic. Think of the tough boss who shows unexpected kindness, or the intellectual who reveals a playful side. Do not let short-term failures define you. The public overreacts to both success and failure. If you chase every opinion, you will burn out. Use symbols of stability. In chaos, people need anchors. Flags, logos, and rituals create continuity. Master timing. Even the right move fails at the wrong moment. Great leaders wait for their moment. Stay calm in chaos. When everything is falling apart, your calm becomes contagious. You become the anchor. Part 3. Achieving long-term fulfillment. Law 16. The law of aggression. Ever noticed how some people seem calm, polite, and composed, yet something about them feels off? That colleague with the perfect smile? The friend who never gets angry? The stranger who helps an old woman cross the road with just a little too much courtesy? What if I told you that behind many polite interactions, there is often a hidden force at play? Aggressiveness. It is uncomfortable to admit, but we are inherently aggressive creatures. Civilization has not erased this. It has just taught us how to hide it. But hiding aggression does not make it go away. It just twists it into something harder to see and more dangerous. Some people repress it and turn it inward into anxiety, self-doubt, even depression. Others let it leak out through passive-aggressive behaviors, slowly poisoning relationships. But the smartest ones channel it into ambition, turning raw aggression into unstoppable drive. Passive aggression is the most deceptive form. It hides behind smiles and politeness, but carries a blade. It shows up in 5 ways. The subtle superior, always late, always making you wait. Their real message, I am more important than you. The sympathy seeker, the eternal victim. They drain your energy by making their problems the center of attention. The insinuator, masters of the backhanded compliment. That was actually a great presentation for someone with so little experience. The blame shifter, call them out, and suddenly you are the bad guy. They twist the story so you end up apologizing. The passive tyrant, no matter what you do, it is never enough. They control you through constant dissatisfaction. So, how do you deal with aggression, both in others and yourself? The solution is not repression, it is redirection. Instead of letting aggression control you, learn to control it. Start with awareness. Recognize your own aggressive tendencies. Do not judge them. Understand them. Practice controlled aggression. Do not suppress frustration. Channel it into action. Let it drive your ambition, not your reactions. Be assertive, not aggressive. Stand firm. Speak clearly. Set boundaries without aggression. Think strategically. Do not react emotionally. Respond with precision. The most dangerous person in the room is the calm one. Law 17, the law of generational myopia. You might think you are in full control of your choices, but the way you think and what you value is influenced by your generation. We are all influenced by the events of our formative years. For example, the Great Depression created a generation obsessed with financial security, while the 90s tech boom created an unshakable faith in innovation. These are not just preferences, they limit how we see the world. Ibn Khaldun, a 14th century historian, observed that history follows predictable cycles across 4 generations. First generation, the revolutionaries. These are the rule breakers, the visionaries who overthrow the old order. Second generation, the organizers. They bring structure and ensure the gains of the revolution are not lost. Third generation, the builders. These are pragmatists who focus on growth and stability. Fourth generation, the cynics. They witness how progress has created new problems. They question everything and set the stage for the next revolution. This cycle repeats, shaping history and, whether we realize it or not, shaping us. So, how do you break free from the blind spots of your own era? Recognize your generational lens. What shaped your worldview? Social media, for instance, may have affected your attention span and relationships. Question your assumptions. The most powerful beliefs are the ones you do not even recognize as beliefs. For example, older generations believed in jobs for life, but many today change careers often. Stay radically curious. Engage with ideas from different eras. Challenge yourself with perspectives that make you uncomfortable. Connect across generations. Some of your greatest insights will come from people much younger or older than you. Study historical patterns. The more you understand how past generations reacted to technological, political, and economic shifts, the better you will understand today's world and where it is headed. Harness collective energy. Every generation has a dominant energy. Idealism, ambition, digital confidence. Do not just drift along with it. Use it to your advantage. Law 18, the law of death denial. We live as if death is something that happens to other people, something distant we will face someday. We fill our days with work, distractions, and social media, avoiding the one truth that gives life meaning. Throughout history, humans have created immortality projects, ways to transcend death by leaving something behind. Pyramids, masterpieces, space travel, and life extension research are all attempts to escape our mortality. But Robert Greene argues that true freedom comes from fully embracing death. When we do, three things happen. First, our priorities clarify. Petty worries and social comparisons lose their grip. What truly matters becomes clear. Meaningful relationships, fulfilling work, and enriching experiences. A stranger's judgment or a bad day at work feel insignificant when we remember our time is limited. Second, we become more present. Denial of death makes us numb, but accepting it makes every moment richer. A sunset is not just background noise. It is an unrepeatable event. Conversations with loved ones are not interruptions to our productivity. They are moments we will one day wish we had back. Third, we discover authentic courage. Fear of failure, rejection, or judgment shrinks next to the ultimate fear. Reaching the end of life with regrets. The question shifts from what if I fail to what if I never try. This is not about recklessness. It is about focusing our fears on what really matters. Understanding these laws does not make you perfect, but it gives you a clear map for how people really work. When you notice the hidden patterns in yourself and others, you stop reacting blindly and start making better choices. Start with just one law this week. Watch how it shows up in your daily life. Practice pausing before you react. Listen more carefully. Protect your energy. Over time, these small changes will improve how you lead, work, and connect with others. If this video helped you see things differently, please leave a comment below telling me which law stood out to you most. Your comments help this channel grow and help others find useful advice. If you want more simple, practical breakdowns of powerful books, please subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. The step-by-step guides I mentioned earlier are still available on the website, ready to help you turn these ideas into daily habits. Thank you for watching, keep learning, and I will see you in the next video.